Join us this Wednesday on Bar TV for the Round 4 catch-up match between the Charlestown Blues and South Cardiff from Lylecar Oval at 7 p.m. Also, join us for the halftime show for our look back at Women's Football Week.
Australia's leading sports organisations have made a pledge to tackle youth binge drinking.
Now when you're watching your favourite sports, like football,
swimming, basketball,
netball
and athletics,
you'll see this logo.
It's all about coming together to have a positive influence on our drinking culture.
We're strong enough to say enough.
And you can be too.
Back your judgment.
Stand up for what you believe in.
Be the influence.
Could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could.
Guys, real sport, Bar TV.
This is for the players. For those that leap into battle in the blink of an eye. For the drivers that compete for their club, no matter where they are. For everyone who has triumphs, tips and tricks to share.
And for those who love to play with complete freedom, this is for the game changers, the innovators. This is for the players. This is PS4.
Hello and welcome to Bar TV's live coverage of this round 4 wet weather catch-up match in the 2015 Northern New South Wales NPL season. Tonight it's a battle of two sides who have struggled throughout the opening 5 matches in 2015, with only one win from the combined 10 matches these two sides have played. Charlestown, the home side, are under pressure after 3 straight losses and losses in 4 out of their first 5. The loss of star striker and talisman Kane Goodchild has definitely hurt the Blues this year, after they didn't lose a match when Goodchild scored in 2014 for them. For South Cardiff, tonight is a must win. A solid start to the year with 2 come-from-behind draws was quickly extinguished after they lost 3 on the trot before tonight's match. What makes it even more frustrating was last week they led ladder leaders Broadmeadow Magic 1-0 and meekly folded to lose 4-1 in the Cale Bradbury show. With both sides slipping closer and closer to the relegation zone and precipices of a drop to the new FM division, both sides cannot afford a loss tonight. However, whoever loses will face a very tough battle to keep their heads above the water and stay in the NPL, with only Maitland below them. However, for the winner is a spot in the mid-table, a zone that either of these two sides would take right now to just ease the pressure for the moment. Get around the computer, iPad, or TV, get the kids, parents, and the rest of the family ready for this exciting contest as Charlestown and South Cardiff look to get their seasons back on the straight and narrow. Time to have a look at the team sheets for this one. For Charlestown, in goals, Kyle Predabon. Number 2, Joel Witherden. Number 3, Cameron Cellini. 5, Ben Hughes. 6, Reen Ferguson. 7, Daniel Bird. 8, Matt Tull. 9, Daniel Lehman. 12, Jared Ross. And 16, Billy Gibbons. On the bench for the home side, 15, Josh Hall. 18, Damien Cox. 22, Joe Holt. 33, Paul Britz. And for the away side today, in goals, Tom Pullen. Number 1 and number 5, Clayton Stocker. Number 4, Nick Russell. Number 6, Ashley Borkham. Number 3, Daniel Johnson. Number 10, Mitch Wallace. Number 9, Jared Johnson. Number 14, Jeong Sandiok. Number 8, Matt Wildsmith. Number 7, Daniel Wells. And number 2, Fletcher Price. And on the bench for South Cardiff is Nathan Stevens, number 13. Number 15, Alex Brandrick. Number 11, Drew Chapman. Number 20, Dominic Fox. And number 12, Guy Walstead. And joining me in commentary, as always tonight, is Blake Jarrett. And how do you see this battle of the struggling sides go tonight, Blake?
Yeah, Ben, I see it being pretty physical. Both teams obviously need a win. They've only got one win from 10 games combined. That's Charlestown getting a 4-2 win here over Adamstown. So they should both be putting a lot into it. I know South Cardiff have about 6 out. Charlestown have a couple as well. So it's going to be a big game for these two teams.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. Just about to get it underway for South Cardiff. Now, Blake, tonight, South Cardiff have got many players out. I think it's 6 first graders. So they're going to have it. They're going to be up against it from the outset.
Yeah, they sure do. They got it out. Matt Dar, Matt Gray, who are their 2 starting centre backs. Lee Ashton, who's a quality midfielder. Sean Clerk, who's their front man. Dean Kelly, who's also up front, and Cameron Herring, one of their other centre backs as well. So a lot of players missing tonight.
Just about to get underway. Daniel Bird on the near side for Charlestown, about to receive the ball. And we are underway in the round 4 wet weather catch-up match here at Lolcar Oval at Charlestown. Comes away to Witherden. He goes back to goals for Predabon. Now across to the left. Charlestown controlling possession early. And down the left here they come, Charlestown. Maybe for an opening attacking raid here. Looking back stick is Lehman, but goes over the byline and a result in a goal kick for Tom Pullen in the South Cardiff goal mouth. These two sides in the NPL have met on the 6 occasions. They've been here every year that it's been played from every year that we've been recording the head-to-heads from 2012, 13, 14, and then this year. Here's the goal kick going down. Definitely a lot of intensity early on. A lot of talk out there. More so than we've seen in some other matches we've covered here on Bar TV. Goes over the sideline. South Cardiff get the early throw. And those head-to-head stats. Charlestown with 2, South Cardiff 2, and drawn 2. So doesn't get much tighter than that. 2 wins each and a couple of draws. Those ones, one of them high scoring in 2013, 3 all. There's a cross with the right now. Going for a long-range effort, looking in the middle. Played back for South Cardiff. And in the end, it's cleared away. That was Jeong Sandock, who scored the goal against Broadmeadow Magic for South Cardiff. The ground now. Tull now turns it over and it runs down to Pullen in goals. Just holds onto it. Those results last year, a 4-1 win at home for Charlestown and a 1-0 win at home for South Cardiff. So the home side's doing the job last year. But both sides have also had a win out of those 2 at their opponents' home ground. So it is pretty even. Good challenge here on the sideline. Throw goes South Cardiff. And it's going to be Stocker to take the throw for them. Down the line and back. A little bit of a ping pong in the midfield. Now Blake, Dominic Fox in the South Cardiff lineup. He's the goalkeeper for Merriweather High School. He's the goalkeeper this year for them. Does he normally play on the bench? It doesn't look like it. There's been a name crossed out, so does he play 22s?
Michael Breckenbridge, the name crossed out there, broke his finger about 4 weeks ago, I think, and should be out for a few more.
So you expect Dominic Fox to be on the bench for the first grade side for the next few weeks?
I think he should be, yeah. Good opportunity for for a young player like Dominic.
South Cardiff now. The ball looking long and wide, and it's Sandok after it. The Korean, as I said, scored the goal in that match against Magic. Backstick, looking for an early goal. It's been headed by Bolcom, but straight to Predabon in goals. Now Blake, South Cardiff, of course, with that 1-0 lead against Magic. What was the story from Greg Asquith at the end of the game? What did he say about the result?
Yeah, it's the third game in a row they've gone up against the top 4 side, gone ahead and given up the lead and lost. So they did it to Western and to Hamilton as well. So Greg obviously wasn't very impressed. Individual errors again costing South Cardiff. He's looking forward to the weekend when they're getting back Phil Buras. He's returning to the NPL, coming in to South Cardiff's side, and Greg had a lot of positive things to say about Phil. He said we've got a very young backline, so he'll help us there, take a bit of pressure off some of the younger boys who, to their credit, have been doing well this year, and he also gives us a lot of extra leadership.
Yeah, so interesting to hear that. So, what was that? 3 times they've gone up against top 4 sides. So they're definitely there. They're in the ballpark.
Well, they've gone up 3 times against top 4 sides, and they also had a draw with the Jets.
Yeah, so South Cardiff definitely, and the Jets side are playing really well of late. They've been one of the form sides. Of course, they went down to Hamilton on the weekend, but Hamilton had also been one of those top sides in the comp. And now it's with Sandok again. Seems to be that focal point in attack. Looking back, looking for the through ball for him again. That time played through from Wallace. Mitch Wallace has got on the board for South Cardiff a couple of times this year. Of course, Sean Clark as well. He's not in the side tonight. Is the mixture of players out just injuries or work commitments? We've also seen that as well.
Yeah, injuries. But there's a fair few of them down there behind the bench tonight. So there's a lot of injuries. Greg said after the game on the weekend against Magic that his side had a fair few knocks. So Matt Grays will be out for a few more weeks, and he's already missed a couple of weeks. He made a comeback in the 22 side against Western a week ago, but then re-injured his hamstring in that game. Matt Dar's down there as well as Dean Kelly. So
Yeah, it must be frustrating for them. Long ball, well intercepted in the end by Witherden at the back for Charlestown. Now played away to Miners, Josh Miners, down the line, and runs over the byline in front of Jared Ross on the far side. The throw to South Cardiff. Now you've seen a few South Cardiff games this year, Blake. What have you noted of the performance of their Korean import, Jong Shandok? It's a hard one to say, a bit of a tongue twister.
yeah, it looks to be he was their only signing. I'm 99% sure, and he looks to be a very, very good signing. He's got a lot of pace, creativity, skill. He scored on the weekend, so he can finish. That was a good goal into the top corner, apparently. So, very positive things from Jung Sung Dok.
It'll be good to see what he can do tonight for the Gunners. Of course, so far, South Cardiff down in 9th, Charlestown in 8th. Only difference between the two is that Charlestown had that one win, which gets them the 3 points, and South Cardiff the 2 draws. There was a lot to take out of those for South Cardiff. They were down 2-0 against Maitland and fought back for a 2-2 draw, and then they were down 3-1 against the Jets Youth. So they can't be taken lightly, definitely. It's with Borkham. Playing it back now for Johnson. Further back now, and comes to Borkham again. Intercepted now by Charlestown, and speaking of Charlestown, here goes Miners, wide ball, charging down the sideline is Ross. See if he can put one in the middle. Looking for Hughes. Hughes can get the head to it. Ben Hughes. He's calling for a corner, and it is going to be a corner for the home side. So an early chance for them to create a chance on goal through this corner. So it's going to, I'm Ben Hughes coming across to take the corner. Reen Ferguson with that header. 5 and 6 just confusing me. Is Hughes. Captain for Charlestown. Ross attempting the shot. Runs further back. Miners now. Goes to the long ball. Definitely a lot of intensity in this game, Blake, because we had the game Edgeworth and Lambton and Maitland and Western. There didn't seem to be that much talk out there on the ground compared to this one tonight.
No, yeah, as we mentioned before, there's only one win out of 10 games for these teams combined, and it was Charlestown. So they both know the importance of winning this match.
Here's Sandrock on the left for South Cardiff, playing it back for Wildsmith, and throw for South Cardiff in the attacking position. And it's going to be Stocker that's going to come down and take the throw. Looking long towards Sandrock in the middle. Played away, and now get away. Riding a couple of challenges and going down the right side. Good run that. Playing a little 1-2. Nice play here from the home side. Bird turning it over in the end. On board of the keeper. Keep going.
Obviously, Ben, around the grounds tonight, we've got 2 more games. Maitland are playing against Edgeworth, and Lambton are playing against Hamilton. Lambton have gone up in that game 1-0 through Joe Wheelhouse, exactly like they did on the weekend against Edgeworth.
Well, that's his second goal in 2 games and second goal of the year. So Lambton just seemed to me like sometimes they're on and sometimes they're off. And we saw on the weekend they were just so off. It just wasn't funny. Edgeworth went down to 10 men, and the desire was just so much more than what we saw from Lambton. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with tonight. Wildsmith now on the left, a shot. Nice save there. Shot coming from Wallace. And Predabon was straight to him. Didn't get beat at the near stick and made a good grab. Of course, Maitland against Edgeworth. That's a game that you would expect Edgeworth to get the 3 points in, going on Maitland's performances so far in the year. But you just sense Maitland could, if Edgeworth take them lightly, Maitland could have a bit more desire tonight.
Yeah, it could be an interesting game though, Ben. I read in the paper this morning that Edgeworth had a few plays out, and Maitland are going to make a few tactical changes so that could help them in their favour. Well,
yeah, I also read Alex Reid used to play for the Jets. I saw the photo of him, and apparently he is supposedly, Reece Thompson wants to put him at the back, add a bit more speed to the back line for Maitland. Of course, under-19s and under-22s playing tomorrow night, I believe. That's correct. Tomorrow night here at Lyle Carr. That was the same story with the Rosebuds. Game that we did a few weeks ago. Goes back now off, Lehman was after it. Now with Salini. Tull and across to the left. Of course, Matt Tull sent off in the opening game for Charlestown against Edgeworth, where they were beaten 4-0. Disappointing performance from them, but they bounced back in the second round for that 4-2 win over Adamstown. Looking for Shandrock again. Couldn't get on the end of it. That's back now for Borkham. South Cardiff just trying to control possession. So 11, almost 12 minutes gone here on Bar TV. It's great to have your company. It's the round 4 catch-up match from that massive few weeks of wet weather we had. So that's what we've got here tonight in front of us. Is now a Tull trying to play a through ball and down to the goals of Tom Pullen. How important tonight is Matt Tull for the home side, Blake?
Very, yeah. He didn't show all of what he could do that night out at Edgy. Had a pretty slow game and got that red card. So his leadership will be very beneficial for Charlestown tonight, and he really needs to stand up.
I was just checking as it comes across now to Joel Witherden. Down the line. Great to see the viewers are in early tonight. We had a very low viewership, I should say, on Sunday. The game against Lambton and Edgeworth. Don't know if it had anything to do with the Knights playing in the A-League Grand Final as well. But tonight we had a massive amount of viewers for the Adamstown Hamilton match. The 2-2 draw was an awesome game, and already we've got plenty of viewers on already, so it's great to have your company. These night matches, great to sit around the, if you've got it on your TV, your iPad, your computer, it's great to have your company. It's a crucial match, this one tonight. A loss really puts both these sides under pressure as it's played wide now. Charging away, and now a shot across the face. Sandjock into the side netting. Charging away down the left was Mitch Wallace. He cut it across. Just couldn't put it in the back of the net. And Charlestown bite the bullet there. And it's going to be a goal kick for Predabon in the Charlestown goals. Goal kick looking long and down. So just repeating as Blake said a couple of moments ago, Lambton with a 1-0 lead over Hamilton. Hamilton are yet to be defeated so far this year, so be interesting to see how they fare tonight. Of course, they went down 1-0 against Adamstown. Against Adamstown, he's an offside against Sandjock, and it's going to be a free kick going the way of Charlestown. They went down 1-0 against Adamstown and got ahead 2-1. Kane Goodchild, absolutely brilliant for them. Wide it's played now for Witherden. Down the line, little flick on from Lehman. Witherden after it again. Played wide, Stocker. Down the line. Inside. Now it's with Bird. South Cardiff getting a little bit frustrated there. To the left now. They've turned it back over, and good prime real estate for Charlestown to go on the attack. It's turning around, and it is Bird playing it back to Ross. Still with Ross. Goes short. Maybe not conventionally, as now it's Lehman with a deflected shot, which may have been saved. It's going to be a corner. It was definitely always going to hit the post. It was a perfect angle from our position. And it's gone over the byline, and it's going to be another corner going the way of the home side. What have you made of the opening 15, Blake?
Yeah, both teams are playing pretty well, Ben. I think they're both giving it their all. Been a couple of good shots and a couple of good saves, so hopefully we see a goal soon.
So it's going to be Jared Ross this time taking the corners. Last time we saw the captain, Ben Hughes, take it from this near side. So Charleston have had a couple of corners. It was close to the good chance. Back stick flying high through the air was Reen Ferguson. And referee's given the free kick away. Given the free kick to South Cardiff tonight. And it's going to be pulling with the free kick from the edge of the 6-yard box. Pullen looking long, flicked off the head of Wells. South Cardiff over the sideline now. And it's going to be a throw for Charlestown. To Ross, trying to play a 1-2. Wells is back after it. Playing it to the back to Pullen after it went through the legs of Johnson. Now it's with Charlestown. Oh, going down with Ferguson. Looking wide now. Nice control from over there from Charlestown's Billy Gibbons. Running down, Gibbons is after it. Whereas it runs down to the corner. Clears it into Wells, and it's going to be a throw going the way of the Blues. Down the line, Bird playing it back. South Cardiff now with the chance to try and create an opportunity on goal. There's a poor ball back. This is going to run close to the sideline. It's going to be kept in by Stocker on this near side. Goes back to Pullen. Ferguson with the pressure. And Pullen straight over the sideline. And now Charlestown with the chance. All came from that poor ball to the back. Charging across after it was Salini. And it's gone straight to the goalkeeper, Pullen again. Down the left, Sandjock after it. Well, he does well, Sandjock, but heavy touch it was. It runs down, and it's a goal kick. The only result for Kyle Predabon in the Charlestown goal. Reminder, the halftime show, we have a look back at the Women's Football Week today, last week in northern New South Wales. Great initiative for them this year. Fantastic to see, and we'll have a look at the Women's Premier League table. At the moment, it's Adamstown and Merriweather really dominating. South Cardiff with the throw on the far side as it runs back to Johnson. Plays it across and square to Russell. Back to Johnson. Johnson turning the captain. Looks down the middle of the ground, and we've got an offside. He's run back inside the last defender, but he was originally offside there. South Cardiff's Mitch Wallace, and free kick to Charlestown to the left. Cutting inside now. Playing it. Oh, here's a chance for a turn now. Back for Lehman. Plays it further back. There's a big hit from Witherden, but it flies over and into the car park, and that's down the road. They might take a bit to get that one back now. Blake, last year we saw Kane Goodchild. The stats tell it all. They didn't lose a game when he scored last year. How big a loss is he for them this season?
Oh, definitely. He's a massive loss. They've only scored 7 goals in their opening 5 games, which is not a lot considering I think they scored 50 in 2013 and a fair few last season as well, maybe 35. So, yeah, he's a big loss for them, and he's shining over there at Darling Straight Oval for Hamilton at the moment.
Yeah, well, we've seen that he's going to have to shine again tonight if they're to get the job done. They're down 1-0, Joe Wheelhouse with the early goal. Now it's played down the left, a chance for South Cardiff to go on the attack, flicked in the air. After it is Wallace. He's gone down, taken down. Whistle goes from the referee, and free kick going the way of the visitors tonight. Towards the back stick for South Cardiff. The header, great save. Great saving goals from Kyle Predabon, saving Charlestown. And now across to the left, they're going to try and break quickly. Playing it back for Bird. Scored 3 goals for Charlestown in 19 matches last year, and has already grabbed 2 in the opening 5 rounds this season. So definitely one of the keys for Charlestown tonight without Scott Smith, who scored 2 for this year, and is their equal leading scorer with Daniel Bird, and was the second leading scorer to Kane Goodchild last year with 7 goals in the 19 matches that Charlestown played last year. Of course, the 2 finals appearances, I should say, that Charlestown had. Must have missed a game somewhere there, Scott Smith, last year. Bowing out 3-1 to the Lambda Jaffers in the second week of the finals after they knocked over Edgeworth in the first week of the finals. In the elimination match, played square and across, looking for Wildsmith. Wildsmith looking back stick. They do well, but it's away again. Now a long range effort, a shot just wide there, and Predabon watches it sail past, and South Cardiff, Blake, are taking the ascendancy in the last 5 to 10 minutes in this one. They're creating most of the chances.
Yeah, it's been a lot down that end, hasn't it? Down South Cardiff's attacking end. I can see a goal coming soon, but they'll have to be careful of Charlestown counter attacking because they can do that really well.
Yeah, that's been the trend of the night tonight. South Cardiff got down the attacking end, and then Charlestown counter attacked and almost grabbed a goal. Probably not as good a chance as for the home side as South Cardiff have had. Throw goes the way of Stocker. Down the line looking for Sanjiok. Can he get away? Can he get away from Salini? Can't do so, and wins Charlestown the free kick. 23 minutes gone here on Bar TV's round 4 catch-up match. It's Charlestown taking on South Cardiff here from Lylecar Oval. Decent crowd in, not massive, not as big as we had at the match at Adamstown a few weeks ago. Now it's back from Wells and down the middle of the ground looking towards Wallace. Back to Balcombe. Squaring it up for Stocker. Looking down the left side. South Cardiff trying to go forward here. Playing it back to the captain, Johnson. Squared up for Russell. Down the line for Sanjok. Stocker was down there. Nathan Stocker. Turned over now to Tull. Matt Tull turning. Squaring. Looking for Miners. Playing it back now in goals. Predabon, who's made some brilliant saves for Charlestown so far tonight. Hughes and across now for Salini. Down the line for Witherden. Looking down the line, but South Cardiff will do well to intercept that. Laying it back. Stocker looking long with the left foot. Tull playing it back towards Salini. Witherden squaring back for Tull. Tull with a bit of a clip and a free kick, and Matt Tull definitely the centre of the midfield for the home side tonight, Blake. A lot of balls going through him, and he seems to be the distributor tonight.
Yeah, he does what Job Wheelhouse does at Leinster, doesn't he? He sits in behind there and picks up the space. He doesn't get forward as much as Job does. But, yeah, he's always there. He'll probably even get this one.
Back for Bird. There's Tull again. Oh, poor ball. Does well. Miners looking wide again for Gibbons. Didn't get on the end of it. Runs down over the sideline, and the throw is going to be taken over there by Fletcher Price. For the visitors, South Cardiff. Long ball down the line looking for Sanjok. A little bit of a flick over, couple of flick over the tops. And it's going to be a free kick going the way of South Cardiff. Charlestown last year played the 10 matches at home for 6 wins, 3 draws and a loss. And so far in 2015, the 3 matches at home for the 1 win and a couple of losses. So last year they made this home ground a fortress. Just the 1 loss for them last year. And for South Cardiff away, they played 8 for 3 wins, a draw and 4 losses, which was pretty similar to their home record, which was 10 matches, 3 wins, 2 draws and 5 losses. And they've only played the 1 game this year away from home, South Cardiff, and that was last week against Broadmeadow Magic, where they went down 4-1. Played back Tull. Now turned over there from Johnson, Jared Johnson. Tull again, looking forward. Nice touch there from Ferguson. Playing a 1-2 with Bird. Couldn't get the return, and South Cardiff get it back. Runs down there. Runs down for Salini. Predabon. Back for Salini and across. Squared up for the captain, Ben Hughes. Cameron Hughes plays for Edgeworth. Should say, I was almost going to call him Cameron. Ben now. And now it's away to the left. Charlestown back in their own defensive half. Tull looking forward. Ferguson trying to look wide for Miners. Sorry, not Miners over there. It was now a free kick going the way of South Cardiff. It was Jared Ross racing down that left side. Any scores from the other grounds, Blake?
Nah, not yet. Still trying to get some, but at the moment still got 1-0 at Darling Street, with Lantern ahead. I think it's at Darling Street.
Lambton have played a few games at home this year, so I assume that one's at Darling Street. We've got that one in. We've got Hamilton in a couple of weeks. At Darling Street in round 8. I believe they're playing South Cardiff, but I'll have to get that checked out. Round 8, Hamilton at home.
Hamilton played South Cardiff at home.
Oh, they did a couple of weeks ago.
No, it wasn't at home. It was at.
No, they wouldn't be playing South Cardiff then. I'll have to think who it is. It's now down in this corner right next to us was Lehman. Plays it off to Bird, trying to get into the 18. A bit of speed.
Yeah, I know this weekend Hamilton go to Western to take on the Bears. I'm not sure about round 8.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to think about that. Would you say Hamilton are going to Western?
This weekend, yeah, round 7.
That will be an interesting game. Hamilton and Western. One of the attacking sides of the comp against one of the most defensive Western. It's working for them. It's working for Trevor Morris and his boys. They're second on the ladder.
Yeah, Robbie Turnbull plays his 200th game for Western in that fixture on the weekend. So good to be playing it at home in front of the home fans.
Few players this year playing their 200th. Of course, we saw Broadmeadow Magic's captain playing his.
Josh Piddington.
Yeah, Piddington played his 200th game.
Berlin last weekend, and then he played his 100th, and then Robbie Turnbull 200 this weekend.
Yeah, so Magic, Chris Berlin, and now it's played down the line for Sanjok. He was well run off it by Hughes. Back to Predabon in goals. But this Friday night we've got the Jets youth taking on Broadmeadow Magic. Hughes looking to the left. It'll be an interesting fixture for the Magic. Had a great start to the year. They're undefeated. Taking on a Jets youth side with nothing to lose, really.
Yeah, and Jets youth beat them last year twice. 1-0 in the first game and 3-0 in the second, both at Magic Park. So it'll be interesting to see how Magic can bounce back. Obviously, they've got a lot of momentum behind them this year. As we go back to the action, Reem Ferguson with a shot, but easily wide and high of Tom Pullen's goals.
Yeah, just the best chances have come from South Cardiff. Charlestown just shooting long and over. But that'll be interesting. Of course, Broadmeadow had a pretty weak year by their standards last year. They finished in 9th spot, which was a real surprise for a side like them. This season's sort of going more to plan where we expect the teams to finish at the end.
Yeah, well, last season they got 20 points all up, and this season after just 6 games, a third of the comp, they're already on 14, so they're only 2 wins away from hitting that 20 mark, which they got in 18 games last season, so it's just amazing.
What would you put it down to? What would you put down to last year's just shocking showing from the side that's always up there?
I don't know if it was anything. We'll go back to the action here with Matt Tull on to Daniel Bird. Daniel Bird with a great tackle there by Dan Johnson to stop a definite shot that would have gone on target. Back to that question. I don't think it was anything last year that Magic did wrong. I just think they've recruited well this year. There's a lot more emphasis on the youth out there as well, and mixing that with the experience. So they've got Kale and Dino, who have both scored 4 in one game already this year. That's an amazing thing for one person to do. As we go back to the action here with Sung Diok, we've got Mitch Wallace in the box. Diok cuts inside twice. Back to Ash Balcombe. Ash Balcombe into the bottom left-hand corner. 32 minutes, and South Cardiff have gone up 1-0, Ben.
Yeah, South Cardiff, they've dominated the opening exchanges of this one. And finally they find a way to get that one in the back of the net. Pressure on the home side now, and South players out, and they go up. It just seems to be the games we're having here on Bar TV. The sides that have got all the odds stacked against them seem to be getting the leads and getting the points. We'll see if that continues tonight. Ashley Borkham with his first goal for South Cardiff this season, as my sheets go everywhere. I'll just go grab him. Just had to grab the ball. I don't know if you... I think Jack must have switched the camera on him. He goes Bird down the right for Charlestown, looking for a quick reply. Runs straight to the keeper, Tom Pullen. Having a laugh after that. My pages blew everywhere. Had to go get him. Then the ball almost hit me in the head. It's all happening. We've got goals. We've got balls almost smashing into the commentary area. Would have had to buy a new TV. We got here if up. Looking for the middle now. Ferguson back to the game. Nice run inside. Jared Ross doing well on that left side. Another corner goes the way of the home side. Had a lot of corners tonight. Haven't managed to put any of them in. And South Cardiff have probably just marginally been the better side. And I'd have to say, Blake, I think there's more South Cardiff fans here at Charlestown than there are Charlestown fans.
Oh, that's all the Southie fans are here in front of us. But if you look down there in front of the canteen, just to the left of their bench, that's where all the Charlestown fans are. And there'll be some over there in the car as well. But yeah, the Southie fans are here in numbers. As we see that corner headed out for a goal kick. Yeah, they do. They get behind their team, and always a big crowd at Ulinga as well.
Yeah, there's always big crowds out there. We're going to Ulinga in round 9 for the match against the Lambton Jaffas. So that is going to be a very interesting match for South Cardiff. See if Lambton can switch on for a Bar TV match. Their record isn't good. We'll have to come up with a new stats when Bar TV are there.
Well, yeah, they've lost both their Bar TV games this year 2-1 after going ahead 1-0. So
they did have the one win. They had a win in round 1, the game against the Jets Youth, where we had.
We had them 2 weeks in a row, didn't we?
Yeah, but after then they've gone downhill.
Yeah. Yeah, they've done a South Cardiff, gone ahead twice and lost twice.
Yeah. We'll see how these two sides fare with all the media spotlight and attention. It must be very, very hard. It's great to have your company here on Bar TV for Wet Weather catch-up match. Ashley Borkham with the goal in the 32nd minute, putting the visitors ahead deservedly, definitely. It's looking back stick here, well headed away in the end. Playing it back now for Dan Johnson. Down wide and chasing after this Salini. Under a little bit of pressure from Wildsmith. Down the line up was Dan Johnson. He didn't quite get onto it. Nice little tap on from Bird. Runs back to Tull. Now away to Miners. Trying to get around his Miners. Free kick goes to Charlestown, I should say. Not impressed. And it's going to be Reen Ferguson, who looks like he's going to take it. Borkham apparently that one against from the referee. Ferguson stands over it. We'll see. Oh, he's going to run away. It's going to be Ben Hughes, the captain, that's going to come up and take it. Bit of a run-up. Hughes playing it wide for Bird. Back to Lehman. Can he get onto it? He doesn't. Another corner for Charlestown. Have South Cardiff had a corner yet tonight, Blake? I can't. There may have been one, but I can't really remember too many. This is their 4th already.
Yeah, and I think 3 of them have been down from this side here in front of us, haven't they? On this right-hand sideline for the Blues.
It's a revolving door of corner takers. It's Matt Tull down there. We've had a few tonight. It's looking back stick.
Yeah, neither of them have hit a blue shirt yet, so.
Yeah, they've not been the greatest from the corners for Charlestown. They've been easily dealt with by South Cardiff. Seems to me like corners are one of those things that you don't see. You see a few go in, but then you see games where there's a lot that go in, where you just have no confidence whatsoever, and then you see games where no one goes close. It's a funny thing. Hughes now. Just got to have that attacking header away from in the defensive line. totally nullified of the attacking corner. As now it's with Lehman. A little bit of a 1-2. They got in each other's way, both Tull and Lehman. Here's Sandjock playing it off and wide now for Johnson. Johnson with a long-range effort. Just sailing to the left. Predabon watching it go wide. And another chance for South Cardiff, Blake. They're turning the screws on Charlestown. They just seem to not be able to get a shot underway at the moment. Charlestown that's of any that really is putting Tom Pullen in the South Cardiff goals under pressure.
You're not wrong there, Ben. They have looked like they've struggled so far in this opening half. Haven't really been able to find much rhythm. I know with Smith missing tonight, they've got Ferguson playing then as their number 9. He usually plays on the left-hand side, on the left wing. Yeah, I know there's a bit more expectation on Daniel Bird going forward. Usually, a little bit of pressure off him, and he can offer a lot there in the middle of the park. He's an attacking midfielder, but he obviously has a lot more responsibility in the front third tonight.
Referee not impressed with the bump. He's calling one of the Charlestown players over, it looks like. He's going to run back. And it's going to be Russell who's standing over it currently. He's going to walk away. It's going to be Johnson that's going to take it. See if he can put one into the middle for South Cardiff. Decent ball, but a bit far away from the goals. And we've got a free kick going the way of Charlestown now. Maybe against Song Diok. And the goalkeeper, Predabon, is going to take the goal kick. So 5 minutes left in the first half. Remember, halftime, stick around for the halftime show. We have a look back at the Women's Football Week last week. Great to see. Is now Daniel Bird charging through. Good work from Nick Russell to put it over the sideline. Put it more close to the sideline, and they've won themselves a throw out of that, South Cardiff. Don't know how they've done that, but they've done well. Johnson now down the line. Goes as far as Matt Tull. I believe it's Gibbons over on that far side. Squaring it for the captain, Hughes. Middle of the ground now for Salini. Looking long, and another long ball from Charlestown. Just must be frustrating out there. They just cannot take a trick, cannot create a chance.
Yeah, it'd be a bit concerning for the Blues as well, seeing as this back line is a little bit disjointed. They've got Dan Johnson playing centre-back, who's usually a midfielder. Nick Russell playing centre-back, who's usually a left-back. Fletcher Price and Clayton Stocker are the wide fullbacks, and they both play in the 22s. And they're both centre-backs as well. So their two main men, Matt Durr and Matt Gray, in the back are out tonight. And their main cover, Cameron Herring's out as well. So it's going to be a bit of a worry if the Blues can't break down South Cardiff, with no disrespect to the players out there in saying that.
Oh, played back stick. Predabon's absolutely cleaned up the South Cardiff striker. It's gone over the byline. I didn't get the number plate. Do you know who that is down there?
Yeah, it's Mitch Wallace. It's just taken one there.
Mitch Wallace got cleaned
50-50, nothing wrong there, no foul.
And Predabon's not a small character. He's sort of shaped a bit like Danny Vukovic, actually, built lowish to the ground. Looks very powerful. Plays it wide now for Witherden. Line, he finds Lehman. Lehman squaring it. They've got space across to the left. Ferguson tries to go out there for Jared Ross. Ross now bringing it back inside. Very compressed game here in that middle third. Space out here now for Witherden. Had a shot early that went flying over the bar. Joel Witherden. Lehman. Looking down towards the middle. Now Bird goes in but doesn't win the ball. Now it runs away. Sandjock charging after it. Salini. Back for Predabon. Wide for the captain, Hughes now. As Blake was saying, definitely tonight a second string backline for South Cardiff. Charlestown just not exploiting, just playing long balls and really not trying to play through them. Which isn't really testing the South Cardiff backline. It's testing the ball boys mainly tonight, Charlestown, fetching the balls from flying down the road, shooting towards the car park end of Lower Car Oval tonight. Salini down towards Borkham, the goal scorer, in the 32nd minute. almost 44 gone here on Bar TV's round 4 catch-up match. Match of the round from round 4. Free kick for Charlestown in a promising position now. Of course, if you haven't heard the news today, Nathan Tinkler, of course, with his license revoked from the Jets. Which is great news for the local fans. Many asked what was happening at the club. Toll back to Bird. Now it's with Lehman. Lehman looking down the line, trying to square it over the byline. It's Groundhog Day, Blake. Another corner going the way of Charlestown. Any scores from the other grounds yet?
No, at the moment I've still got Lanson ahead 1-0 against Hamilton and no score from Maitland and Edgeworth.
Well, here's Matt Tull again from the corner. Also a little better this time. The header, off the line. Good save from Pullen. Runs back towards Witherden. A shot blocked. They've done well over there. It was Fletcher Price, getting his body in the way. Johnson, Dan Johnson. It runs away to Hughes. Maybe
Look at Matt Tull here on the back stick. He's free, just couldn't get there. Hint of offside, but yeah, a header across the goal there to Ream Ferguson would have been pretty deadly, as we know stoppage time. Half-time here at Wildcard Oval. Ash Balcom's 32nd minute goal is all that splits the two sides. Just got word through from Gary Fisher that it's still 1-0 Linton over Hamilton Olympic.
Well, here's the halftime show for this week. Hello and welcome to the halftime show for this round 4 catch-up match between South Cardiff and Charlestown. Joining me on the couch today, we've had a change of scenery for this midweek match, is Emily Frost, the club captain from the Adamstown Rosebuds. Thanks for joining us, Emily.
Thanks, Ben.
Now,
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, great to have you. The reason you're here is to speak about the Women in Football week that we had last week with Northern New South Wales. Now, what was your first experience with football, and why was it a sport that you wanted to go down the path of playing?
Well, my first experience with football is probably with watching my brother play. He's been playing since under 6s or whatever, but, you know, we've always played with family, and a friend from school just asked me, do you want to play soccer this year? And I was 14, and I just said, yeah, I'll give it a go, and started at Merriweather. It's been a pretty short road, but a pretty good one.
Now, do you still play netball at the moment, or have you switched to soccer now?
Yeah, I do still play both. I'm lucky that I'm able to keep playing both, and they're good sports that I happen to love both.
Now, when did you change from Merriweather to playing? Because you're playing first grade for Adamstown this year. This is your first year. Yeah. When did you change clubs?
I've changed clubs. This will be my 3rd year at Adamstown this year. And yeah, it's been probably the best thing for me.
Now, in terms of this week for women, how important is it to have this week to promote women's football in Northern New South Wales? And it's great to have their support for this.
Yeah, I think it's really the number of women playing football has increased so much over the past couple of years, and I think it's really important to acknowledge the work that people have done behind the scenes. So our game against Warners Bay, we had pink and teal ribbons for breast cancer and ovarian cancer for our manager Maz Klassen, who passed away last year. She was really instrumental in promoting women's football in Northern and at Adamstown. We just wanted to pay respect to her.
Why do you think that football is one of the most popular sports for girls under, say, netball? Netball's the obvious one, but why do you think football's so popular?
I think it's just becoming a lot more common, like especially in the age groups. You look now and you can go on a the under 6 girls teams play against the boys. There are whole teams now where girls are really seeing it as a potential option rather than just going, oh, I'll just play netball this year. I think it's really, Northern have done a really good job in promoting it, and with the free soccer balls and the shin pads, it's just getting a lot more girls involved.
Now, the women's W League team, I remember at the start of the year they were written off by everyone. The last few years they've come close to the bottom of the ladder, if not at the bottom. When Nathan Tinkler put money into it, they brought in all the star players, still didn't make the finals. And then this year, Emily Van Egmond returned, some younger and some players from the region, and all of a sudden they almost made the finals. And if it wasn't on the last day for Sydney FC, I think getting the win in a really wet day, they would have made it to the finals.
Yeah, I think Emily coming in this year, there's just been a very different dynamic within the team. They got it in their heads pretty early that they were capable of causing upsets in the year, and they didn't really have anything to lose, and I think they played some really good football.
Now, Pete McGuinness, of course, won the W League Coach of the Year in the W League Awards. How much of an influence do you think that is going to have, and I should say, how much of an influence do you think that win is going to have on the region, South Wales?
I think it's a really good award for him to have won. He's done a really good job elevating the girls this season, and just basically pointing out that here in the Hunter we've got some great football happening, and that we're doing the right things and getting the results.
Now, speaking of higher up women's football, the Matildas, of course, they're playing in the World Cup this year. They've got a really tough group. They've got Nigeria, America, and I can't think of the other side that they have got in their pool, but it's something like the African champions. It's Sweden, isn't it? Sweden's the other side, yep. And they lost to them in the quarterfinals at the last World Cup. So we heard today that Kate Gill was omitted, and one of the goalkeepers as well.
Yeah, Brianna Davey missed out on selection this year, which I think was really crushing for her. But in saying that, there are players that have been pushed up to the squad that haven't been there in a little while, like Melissa Barbieri and that kind of thing. So it'll just be interesting to see how it comes out when it comes to the World Cup.
Kate Gill was the leading scorer in the W League this year. Any reason why you think she would have been left out?
I really have no idea. I can't imagine why. She's been in great form. She has played really well for Perth, so I can't really understand that one, but that's probably why I'm not a selector.
Now, Women's World Cup this year, we've spoken a moment ago, USA, Nigeria and Sweden. How do you think the Matildas are going to go?
I think they'll give some teams a good run for their money, but it'll really come down to how they play on the day and how they turn up, especially USA. They're big names. They've got, women that have been up for World Player of the Year and that kind of thing. So it'll just be how they rise up to that occasion in that group stage. And,
of course, America have got some of the best players in the world, as we know. They've got a very star-studded lineup of women in world football. Now, Women's World Cup this year, it's being played on synthetic pitches. Do you think, the Males World Cup would never, in the next 20 years, I don't think it would be played on synthetic pitches. Why do you think they're trialling it on the women?
I'm not really sure. I think there is a lot of shift, especially in women's football at the moment. A lot of the Sydney leagues are playing on synthetic down there. I know in America, a lot of the colleges are playing on synthetic. So I think it just might be a shift where, you don't have to worry about the weather, and it's something that most of the girls were probably used to.
Do you think it's fair that on the biggest stage in the women's football calendar?
I think they've got to trial it sometime, either way, whether it's the men or the women.
Because I was thinking maybe an under-19s and under-20s event.
Yeah.
But it's the biggest stage in the women's football calendar, and I don't really agree with it.
Yeah, no, I think it's an interesting strategy. I'm not quite sure why they would do it at this time, especially straight into a World Cup, but realistically, all the teams are going to have to deal with it and get used to it and play their best football as they can.
Now let's talk about your side, Adamstown. They're second on the ladder. Only the one lost to Merewether. They're coming first. There's a massive change in, massive difference in standards, as we can see on the ladder there. Merewether United up the top on 21, Adamstown 18, and then a massive drop off to Valentine. Is that an issue for the league?
I don't think so. I think like the quality is a little bit different this year, but it means that there's opportunities for the young girls that have been in sort of the reserve grades for the past couple of years, have the opportunity to stand up and be the senior players and, you know, have the ability to play some good football.
How do you think you guys can go over the back half of the year?
I'm thinking we should go pretty well. We've got a great bunch of girls at Adamstown, and we've got some really solid players in Claire Cummings and Mickey Howell that have been really solid over the past few years. So they're leading from the front, and we've got a good team unit. So we're playing some good football.
What do you think are the key sort of ideas for the Women's Premier League moving forward, and the key things that Northern need to think about? Because we've had a lot of sides coming in and coming out. It's growing, and do you think we can get that more depth of talent that can make it a more even competition?
Yeah, I've done a pretty good job with entering the 3 clubs in this year, Wallsend, Warners Bay, and the girls come in the 14s and 16s. I think it's really added some depth to the league, and it's really something to take notice of these days.
And of course, football mid-North Coast coming in as well, which is good to see, sort of the expanding area of the region.
Yeah, well, they've been there for a few years now, and the quality is up there. They play good football. I know we always struggle to put in a good game against them. It's just a shame young girls who are having to step up and being thrown in the deep end, but they have some great players up there. So hopefully towards the end of the season they get some good games in. And
of course, Lake Macquarie, one of the strongest sides from a few years ago. They, a couple of years ago, pulled out their women's team from the competition because they wanted to focus on the men. Is that disappointing in a way as a woman playing football in the region?
I think it is a little bit disappointing, but it's not a trend that's kind of been uncommon. Charlestown pulled out, Edgeworth pulled out, Lakes pulled out. It came down to, it seems some clubs believe they had to go one or the other, and unfortunately men is just a little bit more productive in terms of financial and publicity reasons and that kind of thing. So it is a shame, but I think it has created some good opportunities for clubs like Wallsend and South Wallsend that do have the really good youth girls base. They've been able to come into the league and really
It seems to me like those top clubs that are in the NPL this year can't really have both sides. They can't have the men or the women. At some of those sides, as we saw in the ladder, a majority of them aren't NPL playing sides.
Yeah, I realistically, they've made a decision that they needed to focus on one or the other, and whether that pays off for them or not, that's really going to be up to them.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it goes in the future, and hopefully it can all come out nicely and it can keep growing in the region. Well, Emily, thank you for joining us on the couch for this round 4 match. Having a look back at the women's in football round, which was fantastic in the week that Northern New South Wales organised and everything. So thanks for joining us, and hope and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Reminder that on Bar TV we will be covering the women's grand final this year. So whether that's Merriweather or Adamstown, which it is looking like at the moment, that's going to be a grudge match for sure. We'll be out there to cover it, which is going to be great. So thanks again, Emily. I think I've said that 3 times. And that's the end of the halftime show for this week. It's been great to have your company. And until this Friday night when we see the Jets youth take on Broadmeadow Magic, bye from the halftime show. Welcome back. Second half just underway here at Lower Car Oval. And it's great to have your company. Halftime show just finishing up. We had a look back at the Women's Football Week, which is great to see last week in Northern New South Wales. Fantastic initiative from them. Both these sides with it all ahead of them. South Cardiff with the lead, so Charlestown, I should say, with all ahead of them. And once again, as we saw in the first half, it's groundhog day again. This time South Cardiff have got the corners from this near side. Looking back post, just away. South Cardiff fans in front of us groaning as it just went wide. Chance goes beating. Ross in the middle of the park. Charlestown, here's a chance for them to counter. Jared Ross. Turning, nice little turn from Ross. Looks long and wide. Back stick as well. Goes up the line. Now with Gibbons. Gibbons in the 16 for Charlestown. Plays it away now square for Miners. Miners looking for Matt Tull. that's about as far as they will go. Because Adamstown have a better differential. They've played the 6 matches with Adamstown. Got all theirs in after the wet weather, so hopefully we don't get too much more wet weather. We have the only score we have is that Joe Wheelhouse got the scoring underway in Lambton's match against Hamilton Olympic, and they led 1-0 half-time in that one. Sideline now. South Cardiff fans unimpressed. Turn over now to Tull. Temperature just going up a little bit in this one. Just played wide down to Ross. Ross down the left side for the Blues. Puts it inside, looking for Ferguson in the end. It was controlled by Lane. Put over the sideline. That's Rove, South Cardiff. Gibbons. Inside now for Tull. Tull squaring it up. Little 1-2. Tried to play with Bird. South Cardiff have got it back and they counter-attack here. You'll probably see a lot of this in the second half. Charging after it is Stocker on the far side of the ground. Now inside. It's away for Wildsmith. Bring it inside the stand. He can't. And Charlestown come away with it.
Yeah, the second half has started much like the first half, hasn't it? Both sides are really going all out. They're getting into it.
Gibbons squaring it up. We've got a score. There we go. My mic's back on. I didn't turn it on. That was lucky. Hopefully you might have heard me through Blake's mic the last little bit. Now it's with Miners. Putting it through the middle and runs back to Tom Pullen. I think that was some of the best commentary I've ever done, and no one's heard it now. Any scores from the other grounds, Blake?
We've got Edgeworth, Maitland 1-0.
Do we have the goal scorer for that one?
No, not yet.
Okie doke. So Edgeworth against Maitland under pressure. Under a lot of pressure, Maitland. Gelling yet. They've got the players. Just haven't gelled as of yet. It's now with Daniel Wells. Inside, it gets past Gibbons easily to Johnson. Trying to look back stick. Oh, up he went. Played it back stick. There's the volley. Wildsmith on the half volley. Blasts it over the goals. And it'll be Predabon with the goal kick.
Yeah, so a good opportunity there for the Gunners. Obviously, Mitch Wallace there, nearly getting his head on the end of that cross. It would have been pretty dangerous if he did. But we've got a goal kick here for Charlestown. We've got some subs down here on the bench. Guy and Alex Brandrick warming up for the Gunners. So
what are you thinking, Blake? The second half will be Charlestown trying to attack and South Cardiff on the counter. Bit opposite to the first half.
Well, South Cardiff for their sake, but I think it might come to that sooner or later. But as we see here, Dioc with the ball now, gets a steal inside the box, has a shot, deflected in. Jung Dioc makes it 2-0. It took a heavy deflection, but he gets the goal that counts. So we've had, sorry Ben, 40. What have we had? 51 minutes gone, and South Cardiff lead 2-0.
Yeah, 2 goals in 2 weeks now for the South Cardiff talisman, you would say, this year. And South Cardiff now going ahead by 2-0. It's played wide and over the sideline. Charlestown now under more pressure to try and... Now we've got to get a couple of goals, and now he's charging away down the left. South Cardiff on the break.
It's Mitch Wallace. He's got Dan Johnson at the back stick. Wildsmith hits it. Dioc with the shot, and it goes wide. So South Cardiff, you just asked me, would they be playing on the counter and Charlestown dominate, but it hasn't been like that. The Gunners are all over Charlestown here 6 minutes into the second half.
They've turned it up in the last few minutes of South Cardiff. Predabon in goals. Going back on the edge of the 6-yard box to take this one. Looks long, just short of halfway. Turning back on the inside now, Balcombe. 1-2. South Cardiff again. Look down that left side. Mitch Wallace after it. Again, it runs down to the sideline. So Charlestown almost going down 3-0 there. And here's Lehman down the right side. We'll see what they've got. Back to Matt Tull.
Obviously, Ben, we've obviously got that score update from Edgeworth. They're ahead 1-0 against Maitland. If they happen to win that game tonight, they're on 9 points. They'll go to 12, which will put them above the Jets Youth. So the Jets Youth will fall out. Maitland will go into 4th. Edgeworth, will go into 4th.
Of course, while the Jets Youth are in the top 4, that 5th place side is for us. We know the Jets Youth not playing finals this year. Johnson with the pressure there. Jared Johnson after it. Didn't quite get it. Played square now wide for Gibbons. Lehman down the line left here for Ferguson. Looking inside, back post. Jared Ross was up. And South Cardiff come away with it nicely. Stocker down the left. He's got plenty of time and space. Squares it up now for the goal scorer, Balcombe. They're looking for Stocker again. Miners turning around, looking for support. Tull playing it back and square for Gibbons. So Charlestown now going on the attack wide for Ferguson. Ferguson squaring it back. So bit of control here for Charlestown for one of the first times in the match that they're controlling it in the attacking end. Bird now. Can he look for the shot? He squares it now for Tull. Cross to Gibbons. Gibbons still on the ball, Billy Gibbons. He's turned it over. Good defence there from South Cardiff. And now it's played away and racing away is Wallace. Wallace with the chance. He's got 2 in front of him, Mitch Wallace. Can he have a long range of it? It deflects wide and over the byline, and it's a corner kick for South Cardiff.
Yeah, it was a good through ball there from Ash Balcombe it was, but that's the thing with South Cardiff. Unless it's Diock up front there, they don't have much pace. So Mitch Wallace held it up well. Little nutmeg on Joel Witherden, but just couldn't get away and get a decent shot on target. But they've got themselves a corner down here just in front of us. It'll be probably about the 7th of the night, I reckon.
Yeah, this corner's getting a workout. They're going to have to repair the divots down there. Walking very slowly over is Nick Russell to take it. But Charlestown really controlling possession nicely down the attacking end. Was turned over by Gibbons and then quickly away for South Cardiff on the break. Mitch Wallace. As now's Russell looking near stick. The header was just wide. Has it come off Charlestown?
Yeah, it's come off Ben Hughes' head there. I think Jared Johnson there's headed it on the Ben Hughes and it's gone out for another corner.
Jared Johnson was flying through and Nick Russell doesn't have to move. Stands in the corner. Near the car park end here at Lyle Car. Just over 55 gone. Looks in. Backstick. Oh, it's in the back of the net. The corner's found its way in. That is incredible from Nick Russell. And South Cardiff lead by 3-0, Blake. They're turning it on tonight.
Yeah, 3-0, 55 minutes in, and it wouldn't be too harsh to say maybe the game's over for Charlestown here, and hopefully South Cardiff can go on and put a few more in. That's their 12th goal in 6 games, so they're scoring at 2 a game now. Obviously, their defensive record is something that is looking pretty shocking at the moment, but hopefully tonight with a clean sheet they can start to clear that. Talking to Greg Asquith after the loss against Magic, he said all we need is 1 win, we'll get a bit of confidence, so they can get that win here tonight with Phil Buras coming back into the side this weekend to do a lot confidence-wise for the Gunners.
Well, it'll be interesting now for the home side. What can they do, Charlestown? They've had that win against Adamstown. But look at this. It's just opened up now. Charlestown have really got a base now on the right here for South Cardiff. It's Wallace. Playing it back, this game has really opened up, Blake. It's going to be an exciting last 35 minutes or that of this one. Look forward to it. So get everyone around the iPad, the computer, whatever you got, and flick this one on because South Cardiff are turning it on a warmish autumn night at Lyle Car Oval. And I'd probably have to say, Blake, of the performances from both of these sides, I'd have to say South Cardiff have probably been more impressive. They played a right against the Jets youth, fought back, got the draw against Maitland, and Charlestown really haven't played well apart from that match against Adamstown.
Yeah, they've just struggled to finish off games, haven't they? As you said, the first two games they come back from deficits to draw the game. They couldn't get that final goal to win it, and then the next three games they went ahead, as we've talked about plenty of times tonight, against top three sides, and they threw it away. Like, obviously Hamilton and Magic have that quality, and you need to defend well for the whole 90 minutes against them.
Well, they just really had to put it all together, South Cardiff, and they've done that tonight. Balkan with the chip chance. Sidok getting through, and Predabon, who's been pretty good for Charlestown in goals tonight. You can't do much about an in-swinging corner into the back post. That was ridiculously unlucky for him. I think it hit Matt Tull's head after it had crossed the line and into the roof of the net.
I think something else to mention, though, Ben, is the first half they didn't completely dominate, did they? But it was even. Like, they obviously went into the break with the lead, but it was not a scrappy first half, but it wasn't super interesting. Neither side really dominated, but yeah, they've definitely come out this second half and they're playing a lot better.
Yeah, well, let's hope Charlestown can create a game of this in the second half. It's played wide now towards Reen Ferguson. He put one back on the inside. Oh, Daniel Bird was looking back stick. They've done well, so I think Charlestown will see what they can do in the attacking sense. You'd have to think they'll be trying to dominate the attack for the last 30 minutes of this one. And South Cardiff on the counter-attack. Here's Sadok. Oh, underneath it was Celine. Didn't know where it was. Now with Sadok turning around, playing it back and right for Johnson. Now down the line, I shouldn't say Johnson. It's now with Wallace. And now it is with the number 7, which is Wells, squared. And over the byline from Hughes. And we've got a substitution. Looking over it, looking like Charlestown. I can't see over it is going to be Charlestown. See the blue shirt. And it's Salini that's coming off the ground. They were saying Sully. No, it's not going to be Salini. Looks like it's Matt Tull coming from the ground. So it is Matt Tull coming from the ground. Going towards the Charlestown bench. He's gone straight down the tunnel. And into the Charlestown rooms immediately. There, Matt Tull. So don't know what's going on there. They're worried. They're going to have nightmares about this. Here's Russell again with an in-swinger off the left boot. And it's a free kick going the way of South Cardiff. I don't know what that was for, but I tell you what, Cole Predabon tonight, he's going to go to sleep, and he won't get to sleep. He'll be having Nick Russell's in-swinging corners come to him in the middle of the night. Predabon now looking up towards halfway, going over. Headed down from Wells towards Wallace over the sideline. And it's with Gibbons. Going back for the new man on the park, who is Damien Cox. He's coming at left back. Bright coloured shirt compared to Salini over there. Looking up the line. Definitely doesn't seem like an attacking move. Here's Bird. Bird playing it wide for Ferguson. Ferguson, can he get around wide? There's a shot. Just wide. Gee, from Ferguson, he hit it. Only just went wide of the post. So Charlestown creating some chances, Blake.
Yeah, they certainly need to, don't they? They've been pretty slow in this second half to weight them up. And a goal obviously would do that. They need 3 more at least to get a point out of this game and 4 to win it. So they've got to start soon, don't they, with only just under half an hour left.
Well, here they come. It's ricocheted away. All the balls just seem to be falling for South Cardiff at the moment. Back to Predabon. Almost bounced up perfectly for Wallace or Sadok. Wide now for Cox. Ground. Down the line now. So Edgeworth with a 1-0 lead over Maitland, and Lambton with a 1-0 lead over Hamilton Olympic. So a win for Lambton there would make the table a little bit more log-jammed, make it a bit more interesting. Quickly the free kick. No, getting back. And back in goals for Pullen. The pressure definitely coming from Charlestown. They haven't dropped off at all. The loss of Matt Tull went down into the changing rooms a couple of minutes ago. And it's going to be another change. Coming onto the ground is Joe Holt. Try and get the number plate of the man coming off it. I believe it's the number 20, Daniel Miners. I'm sorry. Daniel Miners not playing tonight. Throw is going to be taken over there by Charlestown. Pretty sure that was Josh Miners coming from the ground. Yep. And here comes Charlestown looking back. Stick Ferguson. Pulling. Oh, he didn't get it. And now it bounces back. Now for the shot for Bird. It's off the bar. It bounces back. It's got to be in. Charlestown score and they get one back. And it's going to be an interesting last 25 now. Daniel Bird with the goal. And the home side just, you'd say, Blake, back in the game.
Yeah, they're back into it now, aren't they? I don't think it was Daniel Bird with the goal. He had the shot that went back out off the crossbar. I didn't see who knocked it in, but I don't think it was Daniel Bird.
Yeah, I think I did call Bird with the shot that bounced off the.
I'm pretty sure it was Reen Ferguson.
So Ferguson, we'll go with Ferguson for the moment. It's now to Sadok. Now it bounces back, so maybe a little bit of pressure. Well, it'd be interesting to see how South Cardiff respond. Wallace now back to Johnson. Now calling for an offside against Wells was Gibbons. It didn't I should say Gibbons. Didn't happen. Down the line for Ross. All of a sudden a spring about the step of the home side tonight. Hughes. Back for Witherden. Where we're commentating from, all the South Cardiff fans around, it sounded like we were at You'd Linger over on Oval and Charlestown scored. Here's Ferguson looking for Bird, looking for the 1-2. It bounces through the legs, put over the sideline. Throw goes the way of South Cardiff. Bit of luck for them. Definitely that spring in the step of the men in blue tonight. Now with that goal, 3-1 South Cardiff lead. It's been a goal fest tonight. As now it's with Hughes, the captain, looking wide. There's definitely heaps of space here tonight. Witherden looking towards Ferguson, who's at the back stick. He does well to evade the South Cardiff defence. He cuts it back now. Well defended in the end by Johnson, the captain, Dan Johnson. Looking down the line for Mitch Wallace. Wallace, no handball there. Looked like it from up here. Gibbons. Now into the corner. Back from Johnson down the line. Salini does well. Now back to Cox. Cox back for Salini. Back for Predabon. Looking up down the middle of the ground. Up was Bird. Didn't quite get it. From Price. Fletcher Price on that side. Back now to Johnson. Johnson looking wide. Space now for Stocker to go down the left side. Charging it after it is Witherden. Witherden down in the sideline, plays it up the line. It's now with Ross. Ross squares it to Hughes. We'll just see what happens here, and then Blake may have a score from the other ground. Hughes now looking long and wide. Getting after it now down that right side. Charlestown now squared back straight to Pullen in goals. And Blake, have you got a score?
I sure do. Edgeworth have gone up 2-0 over Maitland. In this game, Ben, I think it's time for South Cardiff to make a sub. They're looking a bit flat at the moment. A couple of players look out in their feet, and it's just really slowed down for them. We've got Daniel Wells in space out here on the right.
Well, they've really got to try and make a sub before Charlestown get another one, if they do, because the tide sort of turns as here goes Wells. Wells down the right side. It's a critical juncture in this game. South Cardiff can get the next goal. You'd sense they'd finish it off. As it's attempted to be put in, it goes over the byline there from Fletcher Price. The crowd in front of us getting into it. And another corner, Blake, on this near side. We'll see. Here we go. Nick Russell walking over to take it. But you just sense if Charlestown get another one, it's on. It's on for young and old again. If South Cardiff get another one, then you'd sense it's all over for Charlestown. Great to have your company. The match of the round from round 4. Wet weather catch up here on Bar TV. So get everyone in to watch the final 20 of this one as it swung it again, back stick. So dangerous, that left foot of Nick Russell. If you didn't say he scored from that left boot, did Nick Russell in the 56th minute after Jung Saudok scored in the 52nd and Ash Balcom in the 32nd got South Cardiff off to a flyer. Before Reen Ferguson scored in the 63rd minute. We've got a sub, Blake.
Yeah, we've got a sub here with Daniel Wells being replaced by number 12, Guy Wolstead.
You called for it, Blake, and they've answered your calls. And now, what is this goal kick from Predabon? He's played it straight to Sadok. He controls it nicely. Now he plays it square for Guy Wolstead, who's just come onto the ground. Back to Sadok. Playing it to the left from Balcom. And it's going to calm it down a bit here, South Cardiff. Got a wide man in Fletcher Price, unmarked on this right side if Pullen wants to use him. He does so under pressure from Lehman over there. Runs over the byline off Gibbons. That's going to be a throw. It's going to be a throw. Wallace is down there and so is Wolstead. See what happens for the visitors here. It's going to be Fletcher Price with the throw. Goes to Wolstead. Down the line for Mitch Wallace. Mitch Wallace now trying to take it down the line. He's got Gibbons after him. Wallace playing it inside, but deflected off Gibbons, and now it's with Salini. Salini now. Cameron Salini. Down the line from Lehman. After it's Daniel Bird. No one in the middle. Bird run off it a bit. Gets back. Can he play it square? He does so to Jared Ross. Didn't get the shot away. Can he get this one away? Jared Ross. They do well, South Cardiff. Really, really well to stop the chance. And now it's blasted over the sideline and down towards us. And it's going to be a throw going the way of Charlestown. Jared Ross just controlled. If he had a hit first time, maybe there was a chance for Charlestown to get back into it. And they'd be very disappointed today, Blake, if South Cardiff did let this one slip from this point.
Oh, surely can't do it 4 from 4, and with a 3-goal advantage, it would be absolutely shocking. I said before that a win would give them, a lot of confidence, but anything but a win now would really crush their confidence, I think.
Yeah, that's right. It's all well and good to get yourself in that position, but then if you lose the ascendancy you had and don't get the result, it's very, very frustrating. As played down here on this near side towards Johnson, runs through and back to Gibbons. As I said a few moments ago, you just sense the next 10 minutes or so, Charlestown, they've definitely turned the screws since that goal was scored in the 63rd from Reen Ferguson. Down from Wells and then hit the stick and down. Pullen could do absolutely nothing about it. Here's the free kick going to Charlestown. They're going to try and play it quickly. Bird tried to sort of go on with it quickly, but he's Captain Ben Hughes just going to slow it all up. And it's going to be taken over on that far side, Charlestown. Number 12, Jared Ross on the right side, looking towards the middle. I've got plenty of numbers in there. Charlestown off the head of one of the South Cardiff defenders. Look like Stocker over there, the number 5, and it's going to be another corner for Charlestown. So Edgeworth 2, Maitland 0. Lambton still currently leading Hamilton 1-0 in those other games tonight. Those other round 6 matches that still have to be, those round 4 matches that still have to be replayed. It's whipped in, back post. Not not the greatest positioned corner. Again, Charlestown just haven't been on with their corners tonight, have they, Blake? They've had plenty of chances from them.
Yeah, no, obviously we've seen South Cardiff have been the most effective. They've obviously scored off one, directly off one, but even their corners haven't been that flash Ben that was Jared Johnson's header that was deflected out for a corner. But other than that, the set pieces tonight haven't been too accurate, as we've got a break and play here.
What's going on? There's an injury.
Daniel Bird down there.
That's a
Looks to be
huge blow.
hobbling.
That is a huge blow if he has to go off, Daniel Bird. He's probably been one of Charlestown's best tonight. Created the opportunity for the first goal with his shot hitting the woodwork and down. Maybe a little bit of, looks like he's knocked knees from that sort of limp. Hopefully it's just temporary and he'll be right to keep going out there. South Cardiff just with the one substitution. Charlestown have made a couple. A little bit of that spark sort of just seems to have gone out of the game after Charlestown got back into it in the 63rd through Reen Ferguson. Almost 74 gone. It's South Cardiff 3, Charlestown 1 at Lylecar Oval tonight. Battle of 8th and 9th, but it's definitely been a lot of intensity here tonight. And another change, the final one, and it is Daniel Bird who's succumbed to the injury, and coming on for them is Josh Hall. So the third and final change, Joe Holt out there. Damien Cox has come on, and now Josh Hall in number 15. So here they come down the right. Trying to throw everything at them. As he is now Jared Ross squaring it up. Hall was there. Comes away almost with his first touch. He scored there, Josh Hall. A little bit of a push in the back. Referee says no foul. Well, I disagree with that one. As now it's away for Holt. Played it square for Reen Ferguson. Over the byline. Another throw. Another corner goes to Charlestown. Definitely thought there was a push in the back there. And Charlestown are down the attacking end yet again, but I don't think South Cardiff have much to worry about in the way of corners of late. They just haven't been on target, but look at this, South Cardiff with 10 back, almost 10 of them all back inside the 6-yard box. Try and keep this lead. Here it goes, back stick. It was a better corner that time from Charlestown. Night, Ferguson have had enough. They should have. As now it's squared back for Hall, and now with Gibbons. Gibbons losing it. South Cardiff do well, and now they're away down the right side with Price squaring it, and after it is Wallstead. Knocked up the line now for Charlestown. We'll see what they've got after South Cardiff push forward a little bit more. Lehman was after it to Johnson. Down the line. Now it's with Wallstead squaring up and turned over again. So getting into the final 15 minutes of this one now. It's with Ross. Ross down the left side, cutting inside. Can he have a hit? He does so. Thumps into the advertising boarding at the back of the ground. And it's going to be a goal kick for Tom Pullen. Now in regulation time. It's the home side down 3-1 to South Cardiff. Here on Bar TV, round 4 catch-up match. Down the line, and it's going to run down to Fredabon. Any other scores, Blake?
I was just about to say we've had an update at Darling Street, sorry. Kane Goodchild's just scored for Hamilton, and it is 1-1.
He does it again, doesn't he? Any Charlestown fans, that just really, really hurts. He's turned it on again this year, Kane Goodchild. Is it squared back? Cox going back under real pressure, Damien Cox. What can he do? Mitch Wallace is after him. Back now from Cox to Salini. Like a dog with a bone there, Mitch Wallace after Cox. wasn't letting him get away with it, and down the right side slips over. South Cardiff now with a throw chance down the attacking end here for them. So Kane Goodchild just repeating 1-1 now, that one. The Jaffers up against Hamilton Olympic. And a stat for you that Kane Goodchild has scored in all their wet weather catch-up matches for Hamilton this year. He's their source of goals at the night for Hamilton. Here's a ball squared. Out come Predabon. He made a good save. And he goes very, very high into the night sky here at Lyle Carr. Coming down with it is Lehman. Lehman playing it wide for Ross, who's been running down each side today. He gets around Stockett as Jared Ross. Looks for it square, looking for Hall. Doesn't get to it, and South Cardiff knock it up the ground. Just sense it's getting away from Charlestown a bit here if they can't get one in the next 10. Maybe the next 5. As now it's with Hughes. Down the line. Inside back to Hughes. It's been turned over. South Cardiff now playing a long ball. Sadok down the left side. Here he comes looking. Mitch Wallace is in the middle, but there's plenty of Charlestown shirts. Coming in back stick is Walstead. Sadok looking back stick. Walstead just not there in time. And it runs over the byline. It's going to be a throw-in for Charlestown. What are you thinking the last 15, Blake?
Yeah, it's going to be very intense, isn't it? We've got Charlestown pushing on to get 2, if not 3 more goals, and we've got Southie who will be looking to hold out. They'll just need to not rely heavily on their defence, because if they allow Charlestown to keep coming at them, Charlestown could easily get 2 more.
Well, here's Hughes now wide for Ferguson. Ferguson trying to square it back. Hughes, again, it's cleared out from under him. And back into the mix. It's with Witherden on the right, playing it wide, looking for Ferguson. Dan Johnson does well with the head, but Ferguson not far enough away. Ferguson cuts it back square. Good defence again from South Cardiff. Throw goes the way of Charlestown. Really Jared Ross's chance, probably about 5-10 minutes ago, the best chance they've had to get back the second goal. Joe Holt, Ferguson looking back stick. It was Hall there. Now it's with Ross, trying to square it again. Another corner kick goes the way of Charlestown. Almost into the last 10 minutes here on Bar TV's round 4 catch-up match. It's Charlestown 1, South Cardiff 3. A reminder, we've got a match Friday night this round. That's our match of the round. It's the Jets youth taking on Broadmeadow Magic from Magic Park. Definitely going to be an entertaining one. Jets youth playing pretty well this year. We've got a substitution from South Cardiff.
Yeah, Nathan Stevens, that's just come on.
And it's Matt Wildsmith, that's gone off the ground.
He's gone over that far side, hasn't he, behind the goal?
Yeah, with that injury,
Oh, look at this, Ben. We've got a 2-on-1
Yes.
here. We've got Dioc, and on his left, we've got Nathan Stevens. So it's Jung Dioc.
Stevens, the freshman, we'll see what he can do. It was a long
He's
ball.
played it very wide.
Stevens, Predaborn does well. He's got Sadok on the inside. Stevens now, he's going to still hold on to it. Playing it back for Borkham. Borkham looking wide. Oh, and is that a chance wasted there? Maybe from South Cardiff.
And then look at Charlestown breaking. No, Dan Johnson's done a good job of cutting that Ream Ferguson pass out. But, yeah, I would have thought Dioc might have taken that on himself, and his ball to Stevens was too wide.
He had too much on it as here's Lehman. Well, a bit of entertainment there as Charlestown push forward. Here's with Ferguson. This would be a dagger to the heart if they manage to get one back here. Dives in, foul. It's a long-range effort which goes in from Hughes. It's one of their first shots on target that hasn't gone in from Charlestown all night, and it's been called up for the foul. Disappointing. Ben Hughes hit it like a rocket. There's the injured player, Matt Walsman. Looks like maybe a cramp. He's just stretching out the thigh. So Nathan Stevens racing down the left side. Couldn't get it as Diok now playing it through back to Predabon. Withered it on the right, looking down the line for Lehman. Controls nicely Lehman. Now it ricochets away, a little bit of luck for Charlestown. Not the ball they wanted to Price. Now down the line for South Cardiff on the inside. Now with Gibbons off the head towards Holt. Now wide for Ben Hughes. A poor ball from the captain. That's been turned over. South Cardiff with men there. Stevens trying to get away. Doesn't do so. Wide again it's played after it was Ross. Runs down and over the sideline. Played back now and squared by Lehman. Squared again. Inside for Hall. And put over the byline by Dan Johnson. Yeah, so just a reminder, Friday night Jets Youth Magic here on Bar TV. And that's live from 7 p.m. Charlestown trying to put it in. Bounces again over the byline, another corner. So 8th versus 9th tonight. As here's the ball. Back, headed away. And they can jump them if this score stays the same for South Cardiff. They can jump Charlestown into 8th spot. Looking in, it's been defended again well. South Cardiff just getting everyone behind the ball. And Song Diok is just the lone man up front. Hughes, wide, plays into the middle of the box. Back for Witherden. Witherden now towards Ben Hughes. Didn't get onto it. And now South Cardiff with a big chance to break. It's now with Stevens down the middle of the ground. I should say Balcombe. Now further wide. South Cardiff really, they've got a 3-on-3 chance here. They've got Diok in the middle and Wallstead. It's played back now to Balcombe. Stevens now coming into the 18. Played across to the left. South Cardiff inside. And over the sideline, the throw will go to Charlestown. And you'd sense it's looking ever so likely that South Cardiff are going to get a 4th if Charlestown keep pushing forward and don't get another one. Got to throw caution to the wind here, Charlestown. And we've got a substitution coming from South Cardiff. Charlestown have used all theirs up.
It's going to be Drew Chapman coming on, and coming off looks to be Mitch Wallace.
So Mitch Wallace on, Drew Chapman coming onto the ground in the number 11 for South Cardiff. And they've done really well tonight, Blake, as we spoke about at the start. 6 team players out tonight, and credit to them, they're playing very well tonight.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? 40 minutes into the second half, so they've got 5 minutes left, and they've done really well tonight, South Cardiff, unless a miracle happens here for Charlestown. South Cardiff are going to take home the 3 points. They'll move to 5, and it's a win that they desperately needed. You don't want to go a whole third of the competition without getting a win. Maitland have done when they lose tonight to Edgy. They're down 2-0, so.
Yeah, it'll be interesting for them the back half of the season for Maitland, as it's with Hughes. We know he can hit them. We saw him before have a hit. Played wide now.
Just another interesting stat, Ben, just while this runaways is going down. Charlestown have lost their last 3 games, 3-1. Yeah, there's an offside. So, yeah, Charlestown have lost their last 3 games, 3-1. So tonight would be game number 4 in a row that they've lost 3-1 if it stays like this.
I did notice they'd lost their last two matches this season, 3-1 actually. Is the last 3? Yeah, it is their last 3. Well, I noticed the last 2. I didn't notice 3.
Yeah,
so
it was the last 2, and then they had the washout game against Landon as well.
Yeah.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, Wednesday night last week. So the midweek match is not a happy hunting ground for Charlestown. Put over the byline. Their corner kicks, Charlestown, must be into the double figures by now. They've had plenty of corners, none of them bringing any luck. Lehman, we're into the final 5 minutes. 87 minutes almost gone. 86-50. We'll see if they can finally get one of these corners right. Lehman. Lehman looking back post. Header is up. It runs away for Hughes as he's got to have a hit. He doesn't. Plays it square. It was nice played shot from Ross towards the back post. Didn't have enough power on it, Blake.
It's amazing there, isn't it? Ben Hughes, that shot we saw him tuck away before when it was disallowed because the whistle had already blown. He absolutely buried it, but then the ball falls out to him there and he doesn't shoot. So
Maybe
interesting.
it's just that pressure thing. He heard the whistle, had the shot, and goes straight in, and got a bit of pressure on you, and you make different decisions. But South been knocking about that fourth goal for about the last 5-10 minutes on the break as it's played wide again here. See what they can do. Wallstead playing it back and square for Borkham. Goal tonight. Price now. Of course, new men on the ground for them. Drew Chapman in the middle. We're looking for him. Back for the captain, Dan Johnson. Song Duke, who's also got on the board tonight. Borkham to him. Nice touch. Back to Borkham. Free kick. And we haven't seen a card tonight, Blake. We have not seen a card tonight in this one. And we have got a card. Salini gets the card.
He's done a lot tonight, hasn't he? Jung Jock, he's been my man of the match. He's set up one, he's scored one. And he's been everywhere. He has been everywhere, hasn't he? He's really stepped up. We've seen Sean Clerk missing tonight as one of those 6 players, so Jock's stood up really well. And
well, it's Nick Russell again, Blake, with the left foot. Oh, he looks near stick. Oh, Nick Russell hits the post. It was that close.
Yeah, I think the keeper thought it was going to be just a boring old lob to the back stick, and he come out and collected. But Russell saw him edging to that right side of his goal and decided to go to Nick's bottom right, so the keeper's bottom left, and nearly got his side's 4th goal for the night.
Well, you have just joined us. Nick Russell scored from a corner, so why not try your luck? If you can score from a corner, why not have that attempt? It's back with Price. Plays back to Pullen after his Lehman. Bit of pressure on him. Goes up the middle of the ground for Cox, who came on for Matt Tull probably 20, 30 minutes ago. Back now, Charlestown. See what they can do. Now for Hughes. Down to the right for Ross. Been pretty good tonight, Jared Ross. Hughes again. Ben Hughes. They've turned it over. It's with Borkham down the line. Sung Diok going after it. As we tick now down. He wants it taken from halfway. Does he, the referee? The throw? Yep. Charlestown's. If we tick now, less than 10 seconds left in regulation time tonight. 4 goals tonight. 3 to South Cardiff. Here's with Reen Ferguson. Can he make it a 5th? Here's Ferguson making it late. The shot! It's wide. How has he missed, Ben Hughes? Well, I don't know how he's missed that, Blake.
Yeah, on his left foot, I think he snatched at it. It's come off. I think it's come off his toe.
That would have made it very, very interesting.
Yeah, we can't show replays, can we, Ben? But if you scroll back on your device, you can probably watch that again and
tell us, tweet us, tell us how he missed it.
He's definitely mishit it, and that just really sums up Charlestown's night, doesn't it? They've been a little bit threatening, but they just haven't been able to finish. Well, they have. They've scored 1 goal. So
yeah, they definitely have. Here's Chapman playing it square. Nice little touch from Stevens. South Cardiff are playing like world beaters tonight. As it played it back. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. There's the shot. That hopefully doesn't crash into a car's windscreen. And we've had a few car park shots tonight, Blake. Plenty of shots flying into the car park down that end, but none down the other end at Predabon. So we've had 1 minute of stoppage time in the second half. If looking for their first win this year, it would take a major miracle. Well, there's a bit of a bicycle for the back end. Yeah, the highlights reel.
We're already a minute in, so obviously it's not going to happen for Charlestown tonight.
Yeah, back to the drawing board for Shane Price's men.
So let's have a quick look at the table. Maitland on 1 point. Charlestown will move to second last on 3. South Cardiff will go equal with Rosebud on 5. If it stays like it is, Jaffers will go to 8. Edgeworth will go to 12. Jet Youth will be dropped down to 5th in 10. And Hamilton will go equal second with Western on 13.
Well, I'm looking forward, Blake, this season to seeing who is going to be in the middle of the table. As charging it after it is Chapman. Short footsteps. And back now for Walstead. That middle of the table, Edgeworth, Lamp, Magic, Jets Youth. As we know, what is it? Seven doesn't go into 4, so it's going to be interesting at back end of the season. Charlestown, South Cardiff. I think Adamstown are going to be up there again. South Cardiff have shown tonight they've got it. We'll see if Charlestown can bounce back, and Maitland, early strugglers. What are they going to do this season? Of course, one of the sides in the NPL go down, and you'd expect the favourites at the moment would be these two sides we're seeing tonight, and Maitland. So we'll see what happens. The ref wants it played quickly.
Yeah, Ben, just confirmation. Lambton and Hamilton have had a 1-1 draw at full time. As we see, the referee blow full time here in the round 4 washout game. So it's South Cardiff 3, thanks to goals from Ash Balcombe, Diok, and Nick Russell, and Charlestown 1, thanks to a goal from Reem Ferguson.
Yeah, so 1-1 it was. Hamilton and Lambton, and 2-0 the latest score we got from Edgeworth, I believe. Yeah, it definitely was 2-0.
Yep, 2-0 was the final score there, but I haven't had an update since.
Haven't had an update since.
I'll just keep trying to look for that one.
But you'd expect that would probably finish 2-0 there. I'm thinking Josh Cullen's Twitter handle might have the score to that one. But it's been a great match. I'm going to hand over to Blake and tell us all the scoring highlights and that sort of stuff, and his thoughts on the game. South Cardiff 3, Charlestown 1, and Blake, go right ahead.
Yeah, so it was a pretty even first half, wasn't it? And the only goal was to Ash Balcombe in the 32nd minute, so that gave South Cardiff a bit of confidence going into the end. They got 2 early goals, and they were up 3-1 after 55 or 56 minutes. Obviously, Charlestown got one back, but it was only consolation. A good game and a good win for the Gunners.
Yeah, reminder that Friday night it's the Jets Youth taking on Broadmeadow Magic. And also to check the Bar TV YouTube channel for our post-match interviews and also the halftime show if you missed it, where Women's Football Week. All right, until Friday, here's the match preview. It's been great to have your company. South Cardiff 3, Charlestown 1 at Lyle Carr.
Friday night football premieres this Friday, the 22nd of May on Bar TV, live from Magic Park at 7 p.m. It's the Broadmeadow Magic taking on the Jets Youth in a blockbuster.
Australia's leading sports organisations have made a pledge to tackle youth binge drinking.
Now when you're watching your favourite sports, like football,
swimming, basketball,
netball,
and athletics,
you'll see this logo.
it's all about coming together to have a positive influence on our drinking culture.
We're strong enough to say enough.
and you can be too.
Back your judgment.
Stand up for what you believe in.
Be the influence.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. Welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have whatever you wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could.
This is for the players. For those that leap into battle in the blink of an eye. For the drivers that compete for their club, no matter where they are. Who has triumphs, tips and tricks to share.
And for those who love to play with complete freedom, this is for the game changers, the innovators. This is for the players.